The deadline for attaining this goal is getting extremely close. And Iran, by the way, is also outpacing Iraq in the development of ballistic missile systems that they hope will reach the eastern seaboard of the United States within 15 years. By next spring, at most, by next summer, at current enrichment rates, they will have finished the medium enrichment and move on to the final stage. From there, it's only a few months, possibly a few weeks, before they get enough enriched uranium for the first bomb. The foremost sponsor of global terrorism could be weeks away from having enough enriched uranium for an entire arsenal of nuclear weapons. That would place a militant Islamic terror regime weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year.
We've watched for decades propaganda news. I'll call out Fox News and the New York Post. They're known to be the neocon network news. We have propaganda news on our side just like the left does. And the American people have been brainwashed into believing that America has to engage in these foreign wars in order for us to survive. And it's absolutely not true. Prime Minister Netanyahu said, I saw on video, he said today that America first is America dead. And that sounds like a threat to me. And I completely disagree with him on that. In order for America to not be dead, it's to stay America first. And this is what the American people want. It is not anti-Semitic to say that we do not want to go to war against Iran or any other country. That is not anti-Semitic at all. It's actually rational, it's sane, and it's loving to people all over the world. A Middle Eastern war will pull America back 20 years, just like you showed in your intro for your show. It's exactly the lies that we were told after 9/11, and many people know it's not true. So I'm completely opposed to this war. Of course, we don't want to see the people in Israel bombed, but they're only being bombed because Israel attacked Iran first. And that's the truth that we need to be talking about. And Matt, I want to add on one more thing that I think is incredibly important, because Fox News and all these other news stations are not talking about it. Last week on Thursday, they held a vote in the Knesset, and Netanyahu only won by 2 votes because the polling is showing that if an election was held today, he would lose. What he's doing is not popular among the people in Israel. They are tired of war. They are so devastated after October 7th, but they are tired of war. And that vote happened last Thursday. And then Friday, Israel attacked Iran. That's why the bombs are falling. And it seems very political. And you and I have seen those types of things before.
Greetings and welcome back to Wolf Kage Los Angeles. So much is being said about Israel, Iran, and Palestine, and yet almost nothing is actually being explained. Have you noticed how the mainstream media barely touches it, or when they do, it's in vague sound bites or shallow coverage? Shows like The View, very popular, right? But not a word about the intensity of the conflict. Why? Because they're following a script.
And it's slow.
But let's just remember, too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
Where the Iranian regime is today in 2025 is nothing compared to the United States.
Hanging black people. So
it is not even the same. I couldn't step foot during this.
Wait. That's not what you mean to say. It is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit in Toronto.
I'm sorry.
Well, they wear like Iranian. No, I can't have my hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my arms out.
I'm telling you,
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people.
Yes,
it is up to them.
And that's why I am saying that it is the same. Murdering someone for their difference is not good, whoever does it.
A carefully crafted agenda, even when they pretend to argue, is just role play, theater, a distraction, because the real decisions, the ones that cost lives, aren't being made by these media faces or even most politicians. They're being made behind closed doors by the people you'll never see. We, the people, we foot the bill, and all we get is propaganda. And if you think that Kamala Harris, or any Democrat for that matter, would have changed the outcome, you better think again. These folks do not act on independent judgment. They answer to their donors. You want to know how they'll vote? What war they'll fund? What policy they'll push? Look up who funds their campaigns. It's public information. It's right there. Let's be honest. None of us knows what's coming next. Not the anchors, not the analysts, not even the basic politicians. Because this isn't a political debate. It's a global chessboard. And we're not the players. We're the pawns. So what do we do, you might ask? All we can do is stay awake. Stay sharp. Stay vigilant. Focus on what we want as Americans, because it makes no sense to sacrifice our country, our stability, our cities, our kids, our futures to prop up foreign interests we don't even understand. There is no compassion in that. It's just pure insanity.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands. Okay, this attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles. What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
So if you have proof that Iran is building a nuclear weapon, would you take military action?
I'm not going to talk about hypotheticals at this moment.
You ever hear the slogan, if Kamala Harris were president, we'd all be at brunch right now? Cute, right? But dangerously naive. Some folks actually believe that. They buy into clever marketing, the polished talking points, the soft smiles on morning shows, and never stop to ask, what the hell is really going on? Let's talk about it for a second. This is not about brunch. This is about millions of lives being torn apart overseas. Entire cities gone. Families wiped off the face of the earth. Meanwhile, these people pushing these slogans, well, they live soft. They live cushioned lives. They post hashtags from cafes. They shout at rallies, but never miss a delivery order. Because here in America, we're wrapped in comfort. You're hot? There's air conditioning. You're hungry? There's dozens of food apps. You're bored? There's a screen in every pocket. And this is where it gets real. You see, your brain, it's wired to solve problems. But when there are no real problems, the mind starts inventing them. It creates enemies where there are none. It starts fights where there are none needed. It replaces reality with fantasy, all to stay busy. And that's exactly where we are right now. Trapped in illusion. We've got to snap out of it. This is not a Netflix special. This is real life. It's time to come back to the truth. Time to anchor ourselves in what is real. Time to stop chasing slogans and start facing facts. Because only when we return to reality can we begin to heal. Not the healing you see on propaganda TV, but the healing that starts when you look in the mirror and ask the hard questions and refuse to lie to yourself ever again.
Iran is a destabilizing, dangerous force in the Middle East, and today's attack on Israel only further demonstrates that fact. As I have said, I will always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself against Iran and Iran-backed terrorist militias. My commitment to the security of Israel is unwavering. And let us be clear, Iran is not only a threat to Israel, Iran is also a threat to American personnel in the region. We will never hesitate to take whatever action is necessary to defend U.S. forces and interests against Iran and Iran-backed terror.
You know what? I think Israel needs to fight its own wars. Why do they keep pulling the United States into their wars?
America is not on the ground in Israel. I'm America first. There's zero
You're not
Americans.
America first. Don't say that.
You don't,
When you're egging on this war, you're not America first. We have soldiers in that region right now, tens of thousands of them who are now a target as a result of this.
So are you just just like, do you hate Israel blindly that you can't address the facts?
I
Or, like, what
hate
is it?
what the current Israeli government, not just the current Israeli government, what the Israeli government over the last several decades has done in lying to Americans and the American government in order to get us to fight their war.
America first. America first. America first. America first. You know what? Just for a moment, imagine living in a household where your own father keeps sending money to another family while you sit in the dark, hungry, struggling just to survive. But every time you question it, he looks you in the eye and says, my family comes first. That's gaslighting. Plain and simple. And it's the same kind of lie we're being told as American citizens right now. Look around. We're not fixing our homelessness crisis. No, we're not addressing rising crime, talking about how the jobs have vanished or the exploding health issues like turbo cancer and rare illnesses hitting young people in record numbers. Of course not. No. Instead, we're being emotionally manipulated to pour money, attention, and fear into a conflict most Americans couldn't even locate on a map. We're being shamed. We're being pressured to believe that this somehow is a noble cause, that if we don't empty our wallets for this foreign war, we're bad people, even traitors. But why? Why this conflict? Why now? I mean, I've read the articles, I've seen the timelines, yet the sheer intensity, the fever pitch of this support, it still doesn't really make sense. And that's the red flag. Because when people start defending something harder than they defend their own communities, you have to stop and ask, what is really going on here? Maybe we don't have the full picture. Maybe no one does. But I believe this conflict, this one right here, is the thread that connects all the others. Pull it, and the entire global pattern, it just might unravel. So no, of course, I don't have all the answers. I don't think anybody does, except for the major players. But I do know this. You better keep your eyes open. That's it for today. I am Wolf Kage, and this is Wolf Kage Los Angeles. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And until the next time, peace.